Hello, everyone. And today we have a very special guest. Welcome to the director of 8 a.m. Metro, Raj R. Raj
Thank you so
R.
much, Judy.
That's how people refer you, right? Raj R. So welcome, Raj RG. And it's a pleasure to talk to you. And you have created a masterpiece, 8 a.m. Metro. I basically will start with a simple question. Um, Anybody who takes a step forward to create a project or enter into a project, there are some thought processes that goes on in their mind. So what is that inspiration that led you to create or start this project?
The main thing is during the pandemic phase and everything. All of us were going through some slight tough challenges, right? Uh, no one had any clue how to cope with it. Some more, some less. So that was one main reason to continue doing it. I had the idea for a while, but then it got reinforced during the pandemic time.
So would you like to tell a little bit about the concept of the movie, any message that the movie is giving to the viewers?
Uh, I would say there are multiple layers to the film. It could be about the relationship between sisters. It could be about losing someone, and then it could be about, like, sometimes we like people, but still we hold on to some resentment, and it's valid resentment because someone has hurt you, but you like them. Like, it could be a father, a mother, or someone, and then there could be some resentments which you have not healed from yet. It could be about just sometimes you want to talk to someone without judging you, just listening to you, and accepting you with all your flaws and everything, just the way that you are. So probably these are a few things that I would say.
So one very interesting thing that I saw the movie and I liked the movie, and um, the emotions that you have chosen uh, are really expressed in form of poetry. So you have chosen legendary Gulzar to write those poems. And what is that like? How did you think that emotions? This is something very new, where emotions it's a story of a very ordinary a man and a woman, right? And very ordinary people. They're not very special people, but like when she expresses her emotions, she uses poetry. So how did you tie all that up into the movie?
I thought, like, when two people connect, it could be for some reason, right? It could be for their interest in tea or coffee or wine or some things. I mean, or some collection of a particular thing. So it could be about some particular thing where people bond, right? So it could be as silly as something, or it could be as profound as something. But I thought poetry is a very nice way to communicate the human emotions when it's tough, when you're not able to communicate through words, and then suddenly poems help you convey those fine nuances. And especially the advantage of Hindi or Urdu is the words have come from so many places, some from Persian, some from Arabic, of course some are native Hindi ones, and you have so much of the subtle differences in emotions can be conveyed nicely in Urdu. So that's an advantage. And it's primarily Hindi with a touch of Urdu. It's easy to convey. When words fail you, the poems help.
Yeah. And I think the emotions really got expressed well in those beautiful, I think there are 6 poems that legendary Gulzar has written, and
Right.
very nice poems they are, and they really like go with the movie. So now let's talk about the music. Music is also very unique and very like soulful. So where did the music come from?
Um, they see the brief to the music director. I mean, most of, I mean, I would credit everything to the music director, but we took a lot of time. So I think we took more than almost 2 years for the whole music and the sound design and the background score, everything to be completed. So there was the way that what I thought is these two people have something in common. I mean, they're going through something in common, but again, they're very different people. So then what I thought is the city where I set it in, it has an old city, it has a newer city. The newer city, a lot of the IT stuff, new buildings and everything that are coming up. But there is an older city, which is your past glory, the heritage and monuments and all these things are there. So I thought of the city itself as uh, two characters depicting these two people. So when he goes to buy a book, he buys it in the old city part of it.
Mhm.
That's where I wanted to show a little bit of the cultural aspects of it. There is a Marfa song which comes only for 30 seconds. If I don't know if you noticed it, there is a barat going on and there is some dance thing going on. So that I had in mind. So I just left a little bit space there. So after the movie was shot, then I said I want something specific, the music set to that particular city, and that is called Marfa. And I was very specific about it. So that was my idea that, okay, let's have something Hyderabadi specific. And this Marfa came from actually Africa when the soldiers came in. So they brought that music there. So those beats are very unique to that particular culture there. From Yemen they came. So that was how that first small bit of 30 seconds came. But in the album, it's a full Sufiana kind of song. And then the next two songs, the brief was, in one song I'll show all the newer Hyderabad kind of thing, and then the second one I'll show the older Hyderabad kind of thing. It's just depicting these two people. There are some similarities between these two places, but yet they are different, and yet how they can coexist together and blend together. That was the whole point of using the city itself as two characters, and the music also. In one you'll see the newer city, and then the Gume song you'll see the older one. And in the last one, it's the Marx thing, where something to show what he's feeling inside towards the end. That was complete Mark's idea, how he came. So I just wanted music there, but then he came up with a song then.
Yeah. The ending was very touchy and very, very, very nice. Actually, the ending was nice. So what were your challenges? Like the whole movie was shot in metro, right? I mean, what were the challenges for shooting in the metro? It looked like a live place, like probably somewhere in Hyderabad. I heard that the metro was shot. Or
that's true. I mean, even without the metro and these kind of things, it's extremely difficult for small filmmakers. And with these kind of requirements, it just becomes exponentially difficult. And the whole and of course, money is a major constraint for independent films, but time is a big constraint as well. So, for example, these two actors, I mean, they're not stars, Gulshan and Sayami, but they are very recognized on OTT space. They're extremely busy. So you would have seen, like, recently The Heart came, and it's doing well too on Amazon. And so the Gulshan had only like 22 days. That's it.
oh wow.
And within those 22 days, you got to manage everything. And then let's say when you show Hyderabad, so one particular place you go in the morning and then you just show that place, which is probably like in the movie, it's like 10 seconds or 15 seconds, but it's a whole day gone. So you got to divide that into like, okay, we go here. So the logistics is a nightmare always. So if you get actors where you have plenty of dates, it becomes slightly easier, but that's never the case. You'll always, especially for indie filmmakers, it's always a challenge. You get only a few days, and then you have to maximize everything. And then there is always, like, in the hindsight, oh, I should have shown this beautiful place, that beautiful. It never ends the wish list. But huge challenges, even without metro and these kind of things. and with all these extra things, metro and all that thing, it becomes exponentially difficult. Just got lucky, I guess. At least we completed it.
Yeah. How many days it took you to complete this movie?
It's less than a month, but that's not. I mean, typically it takes for a movie of this scale at least like 60 to 70 days. So because
Okay.
of the actors' dates, so I had to increase the hours. So I had to make it instead of 8 hour thing and all that, I had to make it 16 hours a day.
Shift.
So
Oh, wow.
so we reduce the days, but we increase the hours. So that's how
The
it happened.
shooting time is almost about like a month or so, but then you said the songs and all you were preparing for 2 years
Oh
and
yeah,
all.
the
So,
the whole project took 3.5 years to from start to finish.
okay. Yeah.
That's that would be the time for a indie film to make. I mean, if it's studio, they'll say, okay, line it up. Okay, we have a writer's room. We have this one, and for post production, they have one studio. For small ones, I mean, you run from pillar to post to complete it. So 8 months it took for us to from when we completed the shooting to the final product.
So this is your second project, right? You had a film
See,
before too.
yeah, as a writer or producer, this is my fourth film.
A fourth film.
Yeah,
So what was the,
but as a director, this is my second film.
as a director, this is your second film. Okay.
Yeah. So I can speak Telugu, Hindi, and English, but I don't speak Tamil. But my first film was in Tamil because I had a friend there, so I went and made it. The movie got good reviews. This was way back in 2007, but financially it was a disaster, the box office. So I said, I'll never make another film again or anything to do with film. And then I wrote a few, they were just mediocre, and I needed a reason not to pursue it. But 2018, I got another idea for a film based on a personality, kind of biopic, but a very rural kind of thing. And then I loved it, and I made that. That was my first direction thing. And then my sound designer there called Nitin, he wanted to make. I mean, everyone wants to direct their own film in the crew, also, right? They'll have their own dreams. So my cinematographer pitched one film, sound designer, and a couple of people. But I like the idea of the sound designer. And we became friends after that. At the time, we were just professionals, right? Like we both were working together at 5.1 in a Dolby studio to complete the 5.1 mixing. And then when he said this, then I thought, okay, maybe I'll do one small one. I'm not a regular producer or something. It's a very small film, but that I just made it out of gratitude for the crew that helped me. I said, okay, you guys have helped me, so let me do one for you. And that's how it happened. And that went to Toronto International Film Festival.
Oh, what
And
was it?
it's a Malayalam film, actually. The third one is Malayalam, and I don't speak Malayalam either. But sometimes these days, I mean, even if I would not have made it, I love Malayalam films, so I will watch them with subtitles. So for me, it's not a huge barrier that, oh, it's a Malayalam film, I should not make it or make it. It's and I understand it if it's with subtitles because the context is there.
Yeah.
So the name is Paka, Paka, and it's in Sony Live. It's a small film. Within the constraints of the budget and time and everything, I think Nitin did well. So that was my third one where I was creatively involved, but I was not the director. Produced it. And then this fourth film, which is a Hindi film. And this one also, initially, I wanted to make it as a Telugu film because I wanted to make it a very small film. But I couldn't find the actors, and they didn't like the script. They're like, we can't understand the script, and or maybe it's not commercial. I don't know what the reasons are. Maybe I should not speculate, but I could not get actors. So I then found these actors, Hindi actors. And then for Gulzar Saab, I waited 1 year to get his phone number. So finally, after 1 year, I got his contact, and then I sent him. That's a whole. I would say it will take an episode just for Gulzar Saab's experience. That was something amazing. Out of the whole film, I would say that's the highlight of this film for me personally.
What's your next project coming?
Oh no, it's just some ideas. I mean, for a lot of indie films, the you keep working, uh, you keep working on some ideas. Some things evolve and they get better, uh, and you keep writing, but it
Mhm.
will take 6 months or a year to even understand that there is some value in it. So initially, all the ideas will sound like very, oh, this could be the next Spielberg kind of film, but eventually, after 6 months or so, you realize that yeah, they were just okay, and then either you keep making it better, or then you'll say no, this doesn't have. The idea is okay, but not extraordinary. Then you keep working on the second one, third one. So that
Yeah.
process is a long time.
Getting this movie out into the theaters, did you feel get any challenges? Because not, I think not all the theaters in India are playing this movie, right? I
Ah,
mean, that's what
it's
I heard, but I
it's
don't know if
ex-
it's correct.
it's extremely difficult to release a small film without any studio backing, and which doesn't have stars, and which is not, people say what's conventionally commercial, they say this is non-commercial, but it's almost impossible to do it. I mean, even in Hollywood, it's the same thing. Indie film just can't come into the theaters
Mhm.
like that. So same thing in Hindi, India too. Unless it's backed by a studio or present, then everything changes. So it doesn't. So even if it's an indie film, but some studio says, "Oh, I want to release it," or like a big presenter comes in, and then that's a different story. But unfortunately, it did not happen for me. But I still wanted to release it because we spent a lot of money on music and sound design.
Yeah.
There's small nuances which maybe the audience wouldn't even care, but at least for me, I would care, and I would want to give that experience, even if it's, I know this is not a film that people will flock to the theaters and watch it in hundreds. But I thought even if 5 or 10 people watch in a show, I mean, I would like to give them the cinematic experience that you'll never get on watching on a phone or a laptop or even home theater. They never do justice to it. So that's the, I know it's risky, and they're all right. I mean, they are all correct when they say don't go to the theaters. But I know commercially it's not the right answer. But for technical reasons, I wanted to.
I mean, that's a very honest answer. I mean, it's it's amazing answer that you are saying this. Not many people would say that for their movie, but um, I think yeah, you're correct. For any movie, when you go watch it in theaters, it's a different experience as opposed to you're watching it on OTT platform in your home on your small TV or big TV, whatever, right? So yeah, definitely, and music is definitely great. No doubt about it. And I think the concept is also very, I think, is very new in terms of a man and woman's friendship being very platonic, and still they're sharing their emotions and problems and sharing being great friends and having a platonic relationship. So I mean, that's a great theme of the movie also, I think, in terms. So I mean, what type of audience do you think you, when you were making this project, you were targeting? What, like, everybody, like they say pasand apni apni, everybody has their own liking. Some people like action, some people like, so I mean, this movie is catering to what type of audience is liking, like.
I mean, after after it comes to the theaters, you never know who will like it or not. But before you write it, you kind of think in your mind where to whom it might appeal. It's just a
Mhm.
guesswork, right?
Yep, that's
Which might turn out to be true or not. You never know. I
yeah.
mean, this one, I thought it's 30 plus who have at least gone through some relationship. Doesn't matter wife or husband, but they have gone through some relationships where they can understand. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not, and what it takes to it work, and
Mhm.
why sometimes partners don't listen to their their partners. And so these kind of things, I mean, you need some maturity. But then I see sometimes in the theaters and all, they're like 20-year-olds, and like they'll say, oh, I like this film because I can't connect it to something. So after the fact, it's difficult who likes it or not. But before you're right. We at least um, guess who the target audience might be. So in my case, it was I thought someone who sips their tea at leisure. They're not rushing it. They're drinking the tea at leisure
Mhm.
and maybe listen to a ghazal or so. So when they want to calm down, and who sometimes read books, and who who has the patience to let the characters unfold rather than like fast cuts and then immediate things happen and all that. You let things brew and blossom. So that's the target audience I had in mind, who I thought um, I would cater to. And that what I think is cutting the trailer is a very important thing for a filmmaker, and you have to be honest in the trailer. So I try to be as honest as possible, where the first 10 seconds of the trailer is just a voiceover. So I wanted to tell that this is how the voiceovers will be, like the pacing of the voiceover, the style, how they are used. This is how it is used in the film. So like how they give you some samplers, right? Like in Costco, where you have your inhibitions looking at it. Oh, it might be good, it might not be good. Oh, maybe let me taste it. And then you decide whether to buy it or not, but at least
Mhm.
there is a sample. So being true, making the sample, I mean, you can cut the trailer any number of ways, right? You can give a sample for something else that you're not selling. You can always do that. But I thought if that's the important thing, you tell it honestly in the trailer, and then someone says, "Oh, I think I might like this," and then it becomes your job to make sure those people, you engage them for 2 hours. Some
Mm.
people don't like the trailer. That's, I mean, they will
I
not
mean,
come to the, so that's not your audience. So that's
right.
what I think, cutting the honest trailer, that's the important part.
Yeah, and then with that, people will see the trailer. They know if the movie is for
Right.
their liking or not, and they will uh,
Exactly.
go and watch it. So that's how you are
Exactly.
basically.
Because someone doesn't like a slightly slower pace of films, right?
Mhm.
Then
It's
they'll look
slow-paced.
at it and say, "Oh, this is not for me." And someone says, "Oh, I
Yes.
think I can watch this poetry." So that's the important part. You can never satisfy everyone, right? But you got to cut an honest trailer so that those people come in and watch it, because it's your job
Mm.
to. If someone gives you 2 hours of their time, which they could have done anything else, so now then it's your job to engage them. Not everyone,
Yeah.
but at least the people who like the trailer and
Mhm.
come. Yes, that's
And
your primary.
that were dropped also. Some songs were released to
Yeah,
so that they also give an idea as to how
exactly.
it's like.
It's
Yeah.
going to look.
So how did you choose the singers? Like, because your songs had a certain message to give, and they had a certain emotional surroundings around them. So how you choose the singers, like with their voice also, like
Okay.
projecting
So
that.
So towards the end, like all small filmmakers, right? You end up, I mean, your funds dry up. So that's when you cut corners and say, "Oh, I don't have budget for this. I don't have." So, so this is the first movie project in Bollywood for the music director Mark as well. But so he was very excited. So he dedicated like the whole 1 year doing only this, and
Mhm.
he would pick the best singers for whoever are suitable, and then we go back and forth, and they need not sing either, because they would be looking for some other star films, right? Oh, this will be, I'll get more money, I'll get more
Mhm.
fame. So that's how a singer would think, like top singers, right? But Mark, the way that he used to do is he used to first send them the music. They would say, "Oh, it's interesting. I think I'll be interested. So let's talk." So that's how it happened for every singer. So we got the best available singers, right? Like Jonitha. Jonitha is doing really well now with
Mhm.
A.R. Rahman and everyone.
Mhm.
So that Fikar, she would be the best person. So that's why for each song, it's primarily Mark, and mine was very advisory and suggestive role. But he would say, "Oh, for the last one, Actually, frankly, the last one, not sure if it's the appropriate thing to say or not, but we tried. I mean, all the singers that we wanted, we got, except for the last one, we wanted Arjit Singh. But Arjit, he has a mind of his own. I mean, he does things the way that he wants to. So I admire that quality. Um, he doesn't do films for money. I mean, of course, he gets a lot of money. That's a different thing. But he does. That's not his focus, or he has to like it at some particular level. So that was his first choice, but we couldn't get to him. But then the music director loves Vishal Mishra's. He sang one for Kabir Singh.
Oh,
So
yeah.
so he
Yeah.
thought, oh, it would be perfect for this one. So we went there just for recording that song with Vishal Mishra. It took 1 month for us, because these singers are not they're very busy with the concerts. So if you look at the schedule, they're like tied up the whole year. I mean, in India there are so many concerts. So concerts, it's not just US, right? I mean, there are other countries, UK, Australia,
Yeah,
every
all
other
around.
place. And even in India, they're like jam-packed schedules, and then because of the pollution and all these things, they'll always have this sore throat and all these things, and they can't sing.
Oh.
So just for each singer to find them, to get them recorded, like it's more than a month's process to get their time to complete it.
Mhm.
So I think that was one of the very, very difficult things in this project, but it was rewarding in the end. Like each song came out really well.
Yeah, yeah. So now that your movie is released, like what is that you are hearing from? What's that one thing making you happy that you are hearing?
Success is always very relative, Juhi, and tough to measure it, right? But for me, my happiness and success comes from when I started the idea. When you have something in your mind, right? How the actors are going to be, how it's going to create. You have something in mind here. So I was somewhere here, right? And when the final product is there, it's here. So this might be very mediocre to, for example, some audience somewhere, right? But I'm just saying in my head, it came from here to here. So that's success for me. So you envision something and it's much better. Again, I'm not saying it's much better for the audience. For the audience, it could be like just very average or something. But for you as a person, you always come up with an idea. You have something in mind, you envision something. And this is like way beyond what I envisioned. So I'm very happy. And for me, that's the first success, right? You think something and you get a lot more than what you thought of. And then you like the audience, you want the audience to like it, the critics to like it. I think so far 70 to 80% have liked it, but they all will have something in common, which is the first part was like slow in places. It took a while for us. So
Mhm.
that's a common thing. But they're not complaining that much. I mean, but that's the common thread I have observed in majority of the people. I mean, some people said, "Oh, I wanted that pace," but I'm saying majority of it. They said, "Oh, here and there in the first half, the pacing issues we had slightly slow." Uh, but 70 to 80% positive, plus
That's
this additional thing, which is slightly slow pace. But that was slightly intentional, Julie. I know this would come up because see, two people, they're married, and it's not that they want to talk to each other. It just happened, right? And
yeah.
it doesn't happen like, oh, let's go and read books or something like that, right? I mean, you got to give some time, uh, like in reality or in film. I mean, we can take liberties and say, okay, next day, no, that's it. No, they bonded on something.
Yeah,
But
but
I
then you
thought,
won't get that flow of the emotions, right? Like what exactly you were trying, what this movie is all about, right? Your feelings, your struggles, your mental status, right? And the struggles that people are going through internally, that is only projectable when things go slower.
yeah. And for
So
example,
yeah,
I mean,
totally,
you and,
totally.
yeah, you and me are talking about something now. So I have no clue about you. You have no clue about me. We have interacted. And let's say next time we meet somewhere and say, oh, yeah, we did this. And then then again sometimes then there is something else, then maybe. So it's a slow progressive thing, right? I mean, it's never, oh yeah, we know everything about another person and then we have bonded. Or I'm not saying it should not happen, sometimes it does happen, but majority of the times I'm saying it takes time for someone to open up, and especially something that you have not opened up with anyone. So let's say I would not open anything personal to you. Let's say we meet next time, because as I said in the movie, there are two reasons for not doing it, right? Which is someone else will judge you if you say something, and the second thing is sometimes they might use it against you later point of time. So that's why there is a trust that you have to build, like, oh, this person will not be judgmental, oh, this person, everything is straight. And strangers, it's easier because they will not meet again and you can tell, and then your secrets are safe there, and then they're not judging. Even if they do or not, it does not matter, they're strangers. So
And you
those are
feel, venting out, you feel relieved. Yeah.
where
And
someone is
strangers,
not judging you,
yeah.
and then
And the
they'll not
reality
use
of
it against you. That's the important part. I mean, a lot of times you see that you say something and then oh, you did this like 2 years back or something, and then so that those so that's why
people bring the history in the present when any conflict happens. Yeah. And this
and
is
it's just
actually,
not to be judgmental, right? Something,
yeah.
oh, this, and even when they're listening, they're judging you, right? Okay, how could this person do this? And maybe they're listening with a straight face, but something might be going on in their mind. Like, so being non-judgmental and listening to something, I mean, sometimes a lot of people, everyone needs it once in a while.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I mean, true. This is true. Actually, this is reality of life. Like you tell somebody something and you don't know where it's going to go, right? So great. So I mean, it's really great knowing so much about movie making and about this movie and the background and everything. And I wish you all the best. I'm sure you are getting a lot of praises, and it's a nice movie. And I think everybody should go and watch the movie. Uh, it's going to be relatable in some way or the other, because I think it is like dealing with the natural emotions of the people, natural thought process of the people, and what everybody goes through in this stressful environment, right? And in relationships and in marriage and everything. So I think I feel everybody will find some part of the movie very relatable. But yeah, it's a slow movie, and you need to absorb every scene of it, I think, right? So anything in the end you want to tell the viewers, tell your audience?
I would say first, thank you so much, Jui, for promoting indie
My pleasure.
film. And for the audience, I would say please watch the trailer. And for some, it could be slow paced. But if you like the trailer, I'm sure you will like the film. Please give it a chance.
Yeah. And you basically, what do you expect? Like, what do you expect from your viewers? Give you shower a lot of love, and
I would say in the film there is this dialogue where the protagonist, the actor Pritham says like, your poems might give some comfort to whoever listens to it, if not thousands, maybe to one. And that was the objective of this film. Like, maybe it might give some comfort to hopefully thousands of people, and if not, maybe hundreds, or maybe if not just a few. Even if it's a few, yeah, the objective of the film is successful. I would consider it as successful.
All right, great. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you
Thank you
for
so much.
telling us everything about your movie. And I'm sure a lot of people will be going and watching this movie, and they will love it. They will come out loving it. So thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Jay. Bye, Jay.
Sure, bye.